What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. MLB DFS video. It is Wednesday. It is August 9th, and I want to welcome everyone to this video. I want to welcome all of the new subscribers just since like Sunday. It's been pretty awesome. We've had a ton of new subscribers, ton of new comments, questions, people signing up on the website. Website is FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. You can check it out. We've currently got MLB, MMA, NASCAR, PGA. We'll have NFL very, very soon. If you have any questions, let us know. You can go to FTA Plus. You can sign up for a month, $24.99. Includes all the sports for a month. Or you can check out the yearly pass. Normally $199. Use the promo code NFLVIP. Get it for $99. Get $100 off. If you don't know what we do, anytime a video you're in for a treat. We break it down. If you go look at yesterday's video, we break it down. I will suggest putting on your bell notification so you can comment quickly in the day, because sometimes I have to do the videos a little bit earlier. So if, earlier in the day that you leave a comment, you're able chance to get a free month, free week, or free year, maybe even a free yearly pass, or if we get lucky enough, we can get a lifetime pass. But what we do is anytime a video gets at least 50 likes, you leave a comment, you're a subscriber, your comment can be randomly chosen with the YouTube comment picker. You'll win a free week. Anytime a video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free month. Anytime it gets 125 likes, you have a chance to win a free year. And anytime a video gets 150 likes, you have a chance to win a free lifetime pass. Pretty simple. Just leave a comment, like the video, and be a subscriber. So we're going to see who won for yesterday's video. The winner of yesterday's video for the free week is Ray, commenting, "I found this channel through trial and error, and I found you." Well, congratulations, Ray. All you have to do is hopefully you see this video, like it, leave a comment that you see it, and then either email me dfshelp1@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on Twitter @advisors_team. We'll get you set up with a username, password, and a free week. So that is 1 week of MLB. You get this week's PGA. You get NASCAR. We're very excited, and MMA as well. So be on the lookout for those other videos. We will be doing videos for PGA. We'll break down the course. We'll break down some of the positions or players that we like there. Same thing with MMA. We bring it all. So really want to get the MMA videos popping just like the MLB. So that being said, we are moving on to this slate. I don't know why there's a very early game here. So DraftKings has 3 early games, which includes these 3. Then a turbo slate, which is the afternoon games, and then a main slate, which is very odd. But we're going to break it down. And if you stick till the end of the video or close to the end of the video, so we run simulations. We run AI simulations 10,000 times throughout the day and then update it into right here. Under here, and then MLB DFS player projection. Now, this is part of FTA Plus, but we have batter splits that are free, BVP matchups are free, stolen bases, contrarian stacks are part of the FTA Plus. MLB DFS cheat sheet is part of FTA Plus, which also has a weather tab, which also has optimal lineups in there as well. Same thing with prop bets. That is part of the Premium Plus. And then ballpark ratings, umpire factors, and optimal stacks, showing you which different ones for different slates. Those are all free content, plus the article. So we're going to go through everything here. If you want to see a little bit of synopsis of what the players we like at each position, a little bit more, click the link down below in the description. That is this article. We also have a Discord channel now. That link is also in the description. But people are joining it, but no one's into the discussion. So would really like to get it popping before NFL. So that being said, let's just jump right into it. We got Johnny Cueto versus Graham Ashcraft. In this ballpark, we know that this ballpark plays very heavy to runs. It's very hard to want to take a pitcher in this ballpark, and I think that kind of follows the same suit here with Johnny Cueto versus Graham Ashcraft. So we can just look at their numbers. Cueto here, not so good. It's been up and down. He is starting to get starts. This will be his 4th start in a row. He's had 1 good start against Colorado. Other than that, I don't like it. Hasn't faced Cincy this year. has only been on the road pitching once, and he didn't start that game, so his ERA is 0, so these numbers are skewed as well. Plus, I just don't think I'm going to be using Cueto. Even in a smaller slate like this, I'm probably looking at other pitching. So then we look at Graham Ashcraft. You look at his game logs. Pretty consistent right here. Would love, obviously, 9,000. He's more expensive than he's been. Not really liking these numbers. Probably staying away from it. Miami has faced him once this year, 5.2 innings, 3 earned runs, 2 home runs, a 4.77 ERA. Probably going away from that. Probably looking at the bats. And speaking of the bats, we can look at the batter splits here. So both against right-handed pitching, we can look at we can look at Cincy and Miami and who's had success. So you can kind of see like this. India, obviously, on the IL. Gene Segura, no longer on the team. Spencer Steer. He's pretty good against righties. 252 batting average, 344 OBP, 409 slugging. I don't mind him. Will Benson's got a lot of green here. I don't mind Will Benson. Depending, probably wouldn't use much of Birdie. Friedel, I don't mind. I like some Friedel. Garrett Cooper's no longer on that team. Ellie De La Cruz, a little bit better, 268 average. I would use him. I would use Sanchez. This is a game where I will be stacking. I'll be stacking all of this. You can see Luis Ariz batting 378 against righties. Taking him. I'm taking McLean. I'm taking Chisholm. I'm taking pretty much stacking this game. So there's not a lot that I don't like about this game. Batting-wise, I won't be using the pitching, though. Again, this ballpark plays to home runs, plays to doubles in the gap. It plays to a lot of runs scored. I'm looking at a lot of runs in this one. I don't care about yesterday's game. I don't care about tomorrow's game. I'm looking at this game with the ballpark factors. I'm looking at the offenses over the pitching. Next game, the Rockies at the Brewers. You got Chris Flexen versus Adrian Hauser. Flexen 6,300 right now. Game log, against the Cardinals, 10 hits allowed, 3 earned runs, only got 7.3, especially at this price. Not enough for me. Away games, road games, he's 9.43 is the ERA. And that's almost out of the bullpen. So he's got 2 games started, the rest are bullpen. He's been lit up. There's a reason he was dropped. I think he was dropped from the Mariners. I think he was dropped from the Mets, if I recall. And then now he's on with Colorado, and his road games are not looking good. So I would definitely be looking at the bats in this one. And then Adrian Hauser, we used him his last start, actually came through for us. It was against Pittsburgh. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts. We used him. We told you to use him. If you go back to the August 3rd's video, came through us a big time. Especially at 5,200 for 21.9. I believe we cashed in everything there. So I would look at Adrian Hauser here. But let's take a look at both the Rockies and the Brewers against right-handed pitching. We can just kind of see if anyone jumps out at us, if we want to look at them, definitely. So William Contreras with a home run yesterday, we had him. I'm all over William Contreras. I'm all over Christian Yelich. He's batting 310 with a 404 OBP against righties. I don't mind I don't mind Diaz. Britton Doyle, I would avoid. Brian Anderson's up in the air for tournaments. I don't mind. Grichuk's no longer on the team. Joey Weimer, not very good. Probably would avoid him. Willie Adames, I don't mind. I wish he had some better peripherals there. Ryan McMahon against righties, 285 average, 367 OBP. I would look at him. Breaking this one down. Profar, I probably wouldn't use. Jesse Winker, I don't know if I would use. CJ Cron's no longer on the team. Tovar, I don't mind. So those are just some of the bats you can use. So we do have a bunch of information on the website with the player projections. We have all of them. We have a ton of stats. We have a ton of things. We're going to start incorporating, I believe we're going to start incorporating batter splits into what we call our MLB Bacon Station. And that'll be part of FTA Plus, but it'll be matchup based. It'll have all of the stats we're talking about, but it'll have it in nice grids where you can break it down and you can look at some of the stuff. So if you haven't already, I highly suggest checking out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com and signing up for FTA Plus. Rangers at the Athletics, you got Jordan Montgomery versus to be announced right now. Love me some Montgomery. I don't know if it's going to be Tarnock. He's going to be the primary pitcher, meaning he's probably not starting. So he'll come in, 6.75 ERA. I'm not looking at him at all. Absolutely not. I would look at Jordan Montgomery because he has a fantastic matchup here against the A's, and then I would look at bats. And we don't even need to break down the bats that we're going to use. I love all of the Texas bats. So I'm looking at Montgomery against the A's in Oakland. I'm looking at Simeon, Seager, Adolis Garcia. You could be looking at, depending on the catcher that's starting, if Mitch Garver's starting, I like Mitch Garver. Who else? Travis Jankowski, I don't mind. Just kind of, this is one where we kind of got to, luckily it's early, but we got to wait for the lineups to come out for this one. But I love probably any of the Texas bats, specifically 1 through 5 bats. If you want to get a little bit crazy, you could do like 7, 8, 9, 1, go around the back end for a stack. But I absolutely love a Texas stack against whomever the A's throw out there today. And I like the pitching here because this ballpark is a fantastic pitcher's park. So that's the early slate. For whatever reason, it's that early. So now we're in the turbo slate. So let's check that out. You got Cardinals at the Rays. You got Dakota Hudson versus Jalen Beeks. Hudson, let's dig into the numbers here. There's a reason he's 5,200. Game logs. He's coming off, actually, he started the last time. Hudson's getting the start because both Flaherty and Jordan Montgomery were traded. Coming off a really good start against Minnesota. Splits-wise, he hasn't faced Tampa Bay this year. It's in Tampa Bay, not the best ballpark. Away games, he's actually better, but he's never started an away game. So these numbers are going to be a little bit skewed when you're looking into his home versus away splits. Probably not indicative. In tournaments, I don't mind him, especially just 3-game here. I think Dakota Hudson at 5,200 against this Tampa Bay team. They are a really good team, but if for some reason they are off and he is on, 5,200 allows you to do almost anything you want. So I would look at that. And then Tampa Bay, Jalen Beeks, he's opener, or he's starting. It's his 8th start. And he's only going about 2 innings. So he's an opener. Home games, 5.12 ERA. He's got a high ERA. 3 started games at home. Yeah, I don't like these numbers. I don't mind. If I'm taking one, I'm probably taking Hudson in tournaments. I'm not looking at Beeks. The bats that we'd look at, let's take a look. So Tampa Bay bats against righties. We can look. Paredes had a home run yesterday. Don't mind him. Yandy Diaz, he's got great numbers against righties. He keeps screwing me over. I had him in a parlay for a home run on Tuesday, and he didn't obviously come through for me. So he's on my list, but that would only mean good for you because he'll probably hit a home run today. Arozarena, 364 OBP, I don't mind. 775 OPS. Brandon Lau, I don't mind. Josh Lowe, I don't mind. Probably avoiding Franco. He's just up and down. Jose Siri, I don't mind there. And then if we take a look at the Cardinals bats against, but the thing is, it's against the lefty, but he's only going to be in there for 2 innings. So this isn't really like the best, but we're going to look at Goldie. I love Goldie, 283 batting average. Arenado I'll look at. Wilson Contreras against the lefty I'm always in. He hit a home run yesterday back-to-back with his brother, basically. There was a notification with both of their names on there. Dylan Carlson, I don't mind. Lars Nootbaar leading off, I don't mind. I don't know why Arenado's on there twice. That must be a mistake. I would look at those. So Goldie, Arenado, Contreras, maybe Tommy Edman, Dylan Carlson, Nootbaar. So I'll be looking at that, but then kind of got to see who's going to have, we don't know. That's the problem with openers. We don't know who's going to come in after him, and that is not what I like. So looking at that, I would probably lean more towards Dakota Hudson for tournaments, be contrarian against it, and some Cardinals bats. Twins at the Tigers, you got Bailey Ober versus Alex Faedo. Ober, 46 plate appearances. He's had success. He's expensive. Game logs has had a couple of stinkers. I mean, for his price, he hasn't hit value. We need at least 20-ish fantasy points out of him. He hasn't really hit that since July 1st. It's been a skid. He's got a good matchup against Detroit. It just depends if he's going to do anything with it. Away games, he's a little bit worse on the road, but it's not that much different than at home. Just a little bit less Ks there, less walks on the road, less home runs on the road in 4 less starts. I don't mind Bailey Ober. I think we could see some strikeouts out of him. He's coming off, he's faced Detroit once this year. 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 19.9 fantasy points. Basically, kind of like what I was saying, which is funny because I actually don't look at these until I make these videos for you. And saying he needed like 10, and that's what or 20, and he's about averaging right there. I don't mind that. So I would look at Bailey Ober against Detroit. And then on the flip side of that, no, he got traded. He's no longer on Detroit. Alex Faedo. He's making the start. He got recalled because the trade. I'm assuming he got recalled because of the trade of Michael Lorenzen. But the thing is, in 7 starts in AAA, in 7 starts in the MLB, Faedo's 5.80 ERA. Looking at that, hasn't faced Minnesota this year. Home games, he started 5 of them. 6.23 ERA at home. I'm probably looking at Minnesota bats. Probably. So then we go look at righties. So let's look at Minnesota righties. Or Minnesota bats against the righties. Solano, 280 batting average. Correa, starting to kind of heat up a little bit. I'd look at him. I'd look at Willie Castro. I'd look at Ryan Jeffers as well. And if we take a look at this, we could take a look at Detroit bats against righties if you're not going with pitching. Miggy, I mean, he's only got 69, or that's lefties. Sorry. That's my bad, everybody. Detroit, Minnesota. Yeah, Miggy, 227 batting average. I don't trust him. Solano, I would look at. I wouldn't use Baez. Willie Castro, I'd look at. Michael A. Taylor, maybe. Tournaments, I would look at. McKinstry, a little bit, maybe. You got Julian, I don't really know how to say his name. Ton of green here. 206 plate appearances, a ton of green, 314 batting average, 415 OBP against righties. I'm looking at him. Riley Green, I don't know why he's not bold, but I'd look at Riley Green, 297 batting average. He's been coming alive. I'd look at Spencer Torkelson. So those are kind of the bats that I'd look in this game, and then I would look at Ober for pitching. Nationals at the Phillies, you got Mackenzie Gore versus Michael Lorenzen. Now, Lorenzen's been pretty damn good. Let's look at Mackenzie Gore, though. Game logs, we used him his last start against Milwaukee. Iffy. Only 16.5, but not bad at 7,800. Good value there. Splits-wise, he's faced Philly twice this year. Only 8.2 innings, 10 earned runs. I don't like that. I'm looking at Phillies bats here. I'm looking at pretty much all of the Phillies bats. Lorenzen, and I know Washington's been putting up some runs in the series too. Lorenzen, though, off his first start against Miami, 23.8. Not so good against Detroit, 15.7, but some good games here. Splits-wise, he hasn't faced Washington this year. So this is the problem. Home games, he's 392, but this will be his first start at his quote-unquote new home in Philly. I don't know if if that's going to mean anything. Away games, he's pitched a 304 batting average, or ERA against him, if you want to go with that. And it's considered an away game for him because he's never pitched in this ballpark as a home ballpark. He's had better numbers away. We could use that information. But anyway, I would definitely be looking at Lorenzen here. So looking at these 3 games, the pitchers I would probably use here would be Ober, Lorenzen, and Dakota Hudson, probably fading Faedo, Mackenzie Gore, and Jalen Beeks. So that's the afternoon slate or the turbo slate that they have. So then we get to the main slate. Got the Astros at the Orioles. We saw the Orioles able to handle their business on Tuesday. Now we've got Christian Javier versus Jack Flaherty. Now, Javier's had its ups and downs this year. We know that. But we're going to look at his numbers. We're going to take a look here. So, game logs, not so good against the Yankees, 8.3. He went only 4.2 innings. He's getting hit hard. He's given up earned runs. The last time he hasn't given up an earned run, June 15th against Washington, where they still ended up losing 4-1. His price has come down considerably. Was up to 10,200 and it's dropped down. Now it's 8,100. Probably not taking Javier against this hot Orioles team. I don't see a reason to. Jack Flaherty making his second start for Baltimore. Had a really good debut his last start. 27.9 fantasy points. 6 innings, 8 Ks against Toronto. Toronto, they are striking out at a pretty good split against righties. But now he's facing Houston. Depends on what we're going to get. Home games, he's technically pitching at home. He's got a worse ERA, 5.66. Again, he got traded, so this home game is technically could feel like an away game. His ERA is a little bit better on the road if you want to use that information. So that being said, we can look at both the Astros and the Orioles bats against right-handed pitching and see what bats possibly jump out to us in this matchup here. So if you're not using the pitching, you want to go with the bats. Chas McCormick, I don't mind Chas McCormick, 355 OBP. Kyle Tucker against righty pitching, 270. I think he has a way better batting average against lefties, which is crazy, but he's still got a 270, 357 OBP there. Bregman against righties, 277 average, 379 OBP, 844 OPS. Diaz, if Diaz gets the start over Martin Maldonado, I don't mind him. He's batting 309 against righties. Mountcastle, I know his numbers aren't good here, but had a big monster shot home run on Tuesday. Gunnar Henderson, I don't mind Gunnar Henderson. Jordan's got a ton of green here. Love me some Jordan in this matchup. I probably wouldn't use Myers, probably wouldn't use Maldonado. Abreu's on the fence. I would use Rushman. Austin Hayes, Santander. Those are probably the bats that I would use in this game. The other ones you can use, but those are the ones that really just jump out to me right now. Looking at a ton of green, that's where I would go with in this game. So probably not using Javier. I'm going to use a little bit of Flaherty, probably tournaments, and then I would use the bats that we just talked about. Next game, Braves at the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is the Pirates are sticking along with the Braves. They ended up losing. Pirates lost because they gave up 3 runs in the top of the 9th to lose by 2 on Tuesday. Spencer Strider got hit up pretty hard. His ERA is so much higher than his FIP, meaning he's just been unlucky. But he's got 200 plus strikeouts. Max Fried is making is this his second start of the year? Let's check it. No. So he hasn't pitched since he pitched one time in 3 months. We used him against the Cubs. 8-0. Was that last Friday? 8-0. 31.7 fantasy points against the Cubs. Splits wise, he hasn't faced Pittsburgh this year. He hasn't faced a ton of people. Away games, 0.47 ERA in 4 starts. That's pretty good. I'll have some exposure to Max Fried, but the Pirates are putting on. They're not doing too bad right now. They're keeping steady pace with this team, but this team should be able to give Fried a ton of run support that I would feel comfortable with it. Then we look at Quinn Priester all the way down at the bottom. Not been too good. I probably wouldn't use him, especially against Atlanta. Hasn't faced them this year. He's pitching at home where he's got a 10.45 ERA. I'm stacking the Braves. I don't even think – so we don't even need to dig into the numbers. Every single Braves batter is capable of going into your lineup. Acuna did get hurt. He did get hit in the arm or the wrist. No, he got hit in either the forearm or the ribs. So make sure he's in the game. But, I mean, Acuna, Matt Olson, Austin Riley, every single person on the Braves team I would look at. Michael Harris, Marcell Ozuna, Orlando Arcia, everybody. There's not one person on this Braves team. I think they said collectively the Braves are batting like 280 as a team, which is unbelievable. So I would be definitely, Braves are going to be probably number one stack. I wouldn't use Priester. I'd look at Max Fried a little bit, and I'd look at the Braves bats. Royals at the Red Sox next. Jordan Lyles versus to be announced. I'm not using Lyles. He hasn't proved anything to me. He's 6,000. Hasn't faced Boston this year. I don't want to take a pitcher in this ballpark. I know Kansas City just wrecked Cutter Crawford, which I did tell you in yesterday's video. If you were listening, I said Cutter Crawford at home, atrocious. He got lit up. I think the Royals won 9-2, if I recall. I think this might be a closer game this time. I think there might be more runs in this one, just depending about the weather. So this doesn't have anything to do with the weather, though. That'll come. We'll look at that. So yeah, when we do the simulations, which we will talk about, we're going to do the top 10 bats and the top 10 pitchers. After simulating it, I've simulated it 2,000 times so far. By the time it goes final tomorrow on the website, it'll be simulated 10,000 times. So it does take into effect the possible weather. So that's kind of why we wait all day to run it, because weather changes a ton. So use that information. So we will go over the top 10 bats and pitchers, and we'll discuss it towards the end of this video. So definitely stick around. If you've found this video helpful so far, hit that like button. A like goes a long ways. So does watching the ads, clicking on the ads. I am curious. All the new people here, I'm thinking about making like a DraftKings and FanDuel fantasy football league or group where it'd be like $5 a week, top 3 get paid, or $10 a week or something like that. If you guys are interested, let me know in this video. Leave that as your comment. Tell me if you'd be interested in that. Would love to get 100, 200 people in it, $5 a week, top 3 pay. The payouts would be pretty damn awesome. And it's all on FanDuel or DraftKings, so you don't have to worry about league safe. You don't have to worry about money being stolen, which wouldn't happen anyway. But I've been thinking about doing that, and just kind of curious if anyone else would be interested in that. So looking at this, Boston, we don't know who's pitching. It says Nick Pivetta, but it literally says Nick Pivetta every single time they don't have a pitcher slated. And he just pitched the 5th for 4 innings, so I doubt he'll pitch. So we're not really going to discuss that. None of the bats jump out to me right now. So we're not going to really dig into the bats in this game because we don't know the pitching. But the bats that would jump out on none, I should say that. The only real bats that jump out to me that I would think about right now on the Royals would be probably Bobby Witt Jr. and MJ Melendez. On the Red Sox side, I'm going with the hot Jarren Duran. I'm going with the super hot Tristan Casas right now. They're so dreamy, but I actually meant like baseball-wise. Probably looking at Devers. Also looking at Justin Turner. And Trevor Story's back. He might be cheaper. It just depends on his pricing, unless he gets hurt again, which, you never know. So that's the breakdown here. I wouldn't use either pitcher. And then we'll just kind of wait for the simulations and stuff after 10,000 to tell us who out of the bats really like. Cubs at the Mets, Kyle Hendricks versus David Peterson. This is one where probably not going to have any exposure to either of these pitchers. We'll look at this. Kyle Hendricks just doesn't do anything flashy. Probably when he is he married? If he's married and his wife is in the mood, he's probably like, okay, sure. He has no emotion. This smile, the creepy-ass smile right here, probably the most emotion that he has all the time. I could be wrong. I doubt I am. Game logs lit up by Atlanta. That's not surprising. St. Louis didn't have a good game. It's been a while. He's facing a Mets team he's faced once this year. 4.1 innings, 5 runs, 3 of them earned. 8.4 fantasy points there. Not enough. Now on the road, he is better on the road. This is a pitcher's park, but maybe for 6,600 I'll throw him in a tournament, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm probably avoiding Hendricks altogether. And then David Peterson here. Looking at Peterson, nothing. I mean, he's not. Is he starting? Okay. So he's replacing Scherzer. So he started last time, but he only went 3 innings starting. So Yeah, it's saying he could struggle to get to 5 innings. So probably not using this. We will look at the bats. So the Mets bats. I mean, Pete Alonso's not the best against righties, but he had 2 home runs on Monday night against the Cubs. He had I think 1 home run on Tuesday. So I would use him. Francisco Alvarez has some great slugging numbers. OPS 898, and ISO power is pretty high at 328. Lindor, I don't mind. Jeff McNeil, I don't mind. Those would be the ones I use in that one. And then if we look at the Cubs bats against the lefties, Yan Gomes, I don't mind. Cody Bellinger, even a lefty on lefty, batting 358 against lefties, had a big home resurgence season for Cody Bellinger. Big Bellinger fan. Looking at him, 358 batting average. I would love to have him in my lineup. He had a home run on Tuesday. I don't mind Dansby Swanson. He's been hitting pretty good for us when we've used him. Chris Morel, he actually doesn't hit against lefties very well. Maybe throw him in there as well. Suzuki, I would. Patrick Wisdom's always going to be a punt play. He's always swing or miss. He's home run or not a home run out of him. So that's what I'd look at. I don't mind Candelario either. And Mancini obviously got DFA'd, so he's not on the team. So that's what I'd use here. Maybe a little bit of Hendricks in tournaments because he's so cheap. Would not use David Peterson. I'd be more inclined to stack both of these teams in the pitching. Blue Jays at the Guardians, Kevin Gausman versus Logan Allen. Gossman's up here towards the top. Didn't have a very good game against Baltimore, but Baltimore's really good. He's got a better matchup here against Cleveland. We're looking at this. He hasn't faced Cleveland this year. He is on the road. On the road, 3.75 ERA, so a worse ERA on the road. Less strikeouts as many games started. Almost close to the same amount of innings pitched. He's giving up more hits on the road, more runs on the road, more earned runs on the road, and more home runs on the road. So he's going to be expensive. I don't know if I want to even take him. I'd be cautious to take him at 10,800. And then you got Logan Allen on the other side of the spectrum here. A little bit lower, 8,400. Not too bad against the White Sox. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 18.7. But it's pretty good for his price. So he has gone up 500. Hasn't faced Toronto this year. Home games, he's got a worse ERA at home. I think I'd use him in tournaments. I don't mind him in tournaments. Probably not using Gausman just due to his price. I don't like that price. So we can look at Cleveland bats, or let's look at Toronto bats against lefties. Kiermaier's a lefty-on-lefty matchup, 303 batting average. I can't remember if he is hurt or not. So obviously if he's hurt, he's out. Whit Merrifield's batting 300 against lefties. George Springer I would take. Matt Chapman is absolutely murdering lefties here. 999 OPS, 593 slugging, 259 isolated power, 426 BABIP. I mean, these numbers are great. I would look at him. I would look at Danny Jansen. Would not be surprised if Jansen homers in this game. Bichette is out. Guerrero's got good numbers here, but he's been struggling this season. Could be because he's fat. I don't know. But looking at him, maybe a little bit, but probably not. And I might use Dalton Varsho here as well. And then Cleveland bats. Rosario's gone. Naylor's on the IL. Jose Ramirez is supposed to be suspended. He hasn't served it yet, I don't think. Let me check real quick. Yeah, so he had well, kind of have to wait and see. So he appealed it. It'll probably get down to like 3 games, and then he'll take it. So he might be in. If Ramirez is in, I love him in this matchup. 324 batting average, 406 OBP. Josh Bell's gone. Andres Jimenez, I don't mind. I'll take a little bit of him. Will Brennan and Stephen Kwan, I don't mind either. But probably not going to be stacking in this game. I might take a little bit of Logan Allen for tournaments. Kevin Gausman's just too expensive for me. Yankees at the White Sox. It says it's to be announced right now, but tentatively scheduled is Luis Severino. So stack stack the White Sox against Mike Clevenger as well. So looking at this, Severino's god awful, 7.74. Houston, he gave up 5 earned runs in 4 innings. The Baltimore Orioles, 3.1 innings, 9 earned runs. Kansas City, 3 earned runs. He just looks absolutely lost out there. He's still throwing the ball very hard, but it doesn't look like he has any confidence where it's going, and people are absolutely destroying the ball. Looking at this, it's not confirmed, but they don't, unless they call someone up, they don't have anyone to start. But Chicago O'Hare Airport's an international hub, so they could get anyone called up at any time, and they should be good to go. So tentatively, as the making of this video, Severino should be starting, but in actuality, he should be in the bullpen, or he should be DFA'd. He's been so bad. Clevenger against the Yankees just depends. So let's look at Clev's numbers here. Not so good against the Guardians, 3 earned runs, 8 hits allowed. Against the Cleveland, had a good game. Dodgers had a pretty good game. Splits-wise, he's faced New York once this year, 5.2 innings, 3 earned runs, only 2 strikeouts in that one. Probably avoiding Clevenger as well. I think I'd take the bats in this one. So let's take a look at both of the Yankees and the Chicago White Sox as bats against right-handed pitching and who has had success and who we could target. So Benintendi against a righty, 280 batting average. Wouldn't be surprised if he hits a home run. Same thing with Eloy. I really like Eloy here. Glaber. I feel like, though, if I suggest Eloy and I put him in my lineups, he's going to screw me over and get hurt, or screw you guys over and get hurt. I just realized you might not have been able to see the screen, so hopefully I made it a little bit bigger for you. Andrew Vaughn I'll take a look at. IKF I'll take a look at. Obviously Judge I'm taking a look at. Jake Bauers leading off I'll take a look at. Luis Robert. I mean, there's a lot to like in this lineup, or these two lineups, that I'll have exposure everywhere in this game. LeMahieu I'd look at. Stanton, if he's playing the outfield, I'll look at. Rizzo's out. Bader, I don't mind. So yeah, I will have exposure to probably neither of these pitchers, but definitely the offenses. Giants at the Angels. Giants to be announced, which, again, if you've been with us before, you know that's a thing. That's what's going to happen. They're never going to know. Versus Ohtani, taking Ohtani. Most expensive? Excuse me. Kind of got to look for when he pitched. Pitched on Friday. 28 fantasy points when he pitched. Time before that when he pitched, 0 fantasy points. He got lit up by the Tigers, by the Detroit. Or no, he didn't. He went 9 innings there. The points are just messed up. I don't like how it does that. So Ohtani's not going to get batting points. He's going to get pitching points. Home games, 2.97 ERA, 99 strikeouts. He's absolutely dominating. I'll take him. And then we don't know who it is. So right now I'll take Ohtani, and we can't really go over the batting. So we'll just skip the batting here, but I'll take Ohtani against San Francisco, and I'll feel very confident about that. It's very expensive, though. Then we got Bobby Miller versus Merrill Kelly. D down at the bottom. Did I miss? Oh, there he is. So, not the best. 4.26 ERA is okay. 6-2 record because he has the offense behind him. He only lasted 3.2 innings his last start against San Diego. Only gave up 1 earned run. Had 82 pitches, though, in the 4th inning. So that's why they pulled him. It's not enough. He's priced up to 8,200. Probably not using him against Arizona. Probably taking Arizona bats. And then Merrill Kelly, on the other hand, he's up there in price, 9,100. He's pitched, pretty good game against Minnesota. We did use him in this game. Ended up, Arizona lost this game. I believe it was a walk-off home run by, I can't even think of who it was. Wallner, maybe? I could be wrong. But Merrill Kelly, 9 Ks in that game. Now he's going up against the Dodgers, which he's faced twice this year. 9.1 innings, almost a full game and 2 starts. Only 2 earned runs, averaging only 11.4. So probably not taking either pitching, probably taking the bats in this one. So let's take a look at both the Dodgers and Arizona Diamondbacks against right-handed pitching and who to target in this game. Tommy Pham, I'm probably not taking him. Jason Hayward, I don't mind Jason Hayward. Tournament option. Mookie, love me some Mookie. Corbin Carroll, I'll be taking. Max Muncy, I don't mind. Christian Walker, I'll look at. Freddie Freeman at batting .337 against righties, absolutely, in 357 plate appearances. Will Smith, I'll take a look at. Ketel Marte. Moreno, no, there's a lot of red here. Bring it down to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. We could be looking at them, at him here, 491 slugging there. Those would probably be the ones that I'd look at. Those are the bats in this game. I'm not taking the pitching. I would rather focus on the bats there. Then the final game here, you've got San Diego Padres versus Seattle Mariners. Yu Darvish versus to be announced. I wanted to say last time I looked at this, I thought it was Brian Wu. Or is that Thursday? No, so whatever reason, I guess Wu might have been scratched. Oh yeah, because Emerson Hancock he's getting called up, or he's already called up, and should be. So he should be making his major league debut at 4,000. I know it's against San Diego. You gotta have some exposure to him. 4.32 ERA, 107 strikeouts to 38 walks over 98 innings. With 20 starts with Arkansas this year, which is Double-A, I believe. Yeah, Double-A. So making his major. Now this one would be obviously a tournament option because he's 4,000. Don't know how long, if he's going to be on a leash or anything like that. That's the only problem. But I will have some exposure because he's making his major league debut. Yu Darvish, great numbers here. 72 plate appearances, 156 against the Mariners. The Mariners have really looked bad lately. Yu Darvish is 8,800. I would take Yu Darvish over Kelly and Gossman at 8,800 for sure. Looking at Darvish, we've used him. Not the best start against the Dodgers. Went 7 innings. Only 4 strikeouts with 2 earned runs, so 16.8. Hasn't faced Seattle this year. Pitching on the road. He is worse on the road, but I'd rather have some Darvish against the Seattle team. So I actually will take exposure to both Darvish and Hancock here. If you want to look at both Seattle and San Diego bats, we can do that against righties if you decide you don't want to go with the pitching. Yeah, the numbers don't, like, obviously I'd look at Tatis, Tasker Hernandez. JP Crawford's got some green there, as you can see. Machado, a little bit red. Juan Soto against righties. I mean, 438 OBP, 1,000 OPS, 580 slugging. I would look at Kim. It's got some green numbers. Bogarts has some green numbers as well. But I will have exposure to both of these pitchers. We'll kind of see what and sprinkle the bats in that game later on. And there you have it. There is the breakdown. There is all of the pitchers, all of the bats that we like. If you loved it, let us know down below. I keep seeing people are very excited for NFL breakdowns. I'm still looking for a website kind of like Baseball Savant for NFL. There was NFL Savant back in the day. It looks like it's been closed down. So if anyone knows of any good websites for NFL that I could pull stuff off of, let me know. Otherwise, I might be breaking down the NFL matchup tool, and that will be how I break down the games starting. So would love to know what you guys are thinking and stuff like that. So like I said, I've already gone ahead and simulated 2,000 times the ballparks, the weather as of now, the projected starting lineups, and it's given us 10 bats right now. We're going to go over the top 10 bats that have been simulated so far. It will change throughout the day, so definitely go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com under the MLB tab for the, it's this tab right here, MLB, and then MLB DFS projections. This will be there later on. But that being said, get a paper and pen because the bats that so far we like consist of Jazz Chisholm, Acuna, Mookie Betts, Josh Bell, Freddie Freeman, Kyle Schwarber, Max Muncy, Ozzie Albies, Matt Olson, and Willie Adames. So if you look at that, it really likes the LA Dodgers against Merrill Kelly, and it really loves the Atlanta Braves against Quinn Priester. It's also splashed in a little bit of Miami because it's taking those ballpark factors into account. And that's what I've been telling you. So these will change, but I wanted to kind of show you the top 10 bats that we like. And you guys have been asking about the pitchers. So it's these are the current ones that it likes. It will change. It will update. So be wary of this. These are not the top 10 that I'm saying just go with this. So there's a lot of other things that we take into account. So that being said, Max Fried, number 1, it has against Pittsburgh. It has Kevin Gausman against Cleveland, but again, his price on DraftKings is so high that I'm a little bit weary on using him. It did have Brian Wu for Seattle, but it is going to be Hancock, it sounds like. So Wu is out, so this will update tomorrow. It's got Alex Faedo just because of the pricing, but I'm off of him. Don't feel good about him. Michael Lorenzen, Yu Darvish, Adrian Hauser against Colorado, Bailey Ober against Detroit, Logan Allen against Toronto, Kyle Hendricks against the Mets because of his price, and Jack Flaherty against the Astros because of everything else is projected, looking pretty good for him. So there you have it. Any questions, get those down below. Those are the, so far, out of 2,000 simulations. We will do 8,000 more and put it on the website. Go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Sign up, guys. Use the promo code NFLVIP. Get in there. All of the proceeds that go from our ads, that if you guys click on any ads, if you do that, check that out. All of the proceeds from that, from the sales that we make, the ads there, any engagement on Twitter. I'm trying to build a better computer to help you guys because the computer I have right now, I can't even put a webcam on. It absolutely freezes up, and it looks like it's from 1987, and it's just very grainy and moves. If you've ever seen Back to the Future 2 when he goes into the 80s cafe and the virtual waitress or waiters are like twitching out and glitching, that's basically what it would look like with my webcam right now. So I don't like it. I need to build a better. This computer I built in 2011, so it's 12 years old. It's never been upgraded. It is just time to get a new one. So I'm trying to use the proceeds and everything to build that out. So also, people have donated to our Cash App down below. It's been awesome. That also helps too. So big shout out to everyone who subscribed to our YouTube channel, followed us on Twitter, subscribe to FTA Plus. You are making this website awesome. You guys are making these videos what they are. There's a reason I'm talking for 48 minutes, because I'm trying to give you as much information as I possibly can to help take down the whales that are on both on Fanduel and DraftKings. You might even use Yahoo, just depends. So good luck on this slate. We will be back for the smaller slate on Thursday. And let's bring home some bacon today, guys. Peace!